Hi. Recently, I got me a new bandsaw because I was tired of playing with the little toys. Waving and all that stuff that little bandsaws do. Anyway, I started assembling this one and I thought, you know what? Why not film some of it? Maybe someone out there will find interest in it. Anyway, I just assembled this. It wasn't real hard. I know a lot of guys bitch about this. I've seen it on the videos because this comes down a whole 12 inches. That's a foot. Yeah. In like US currency or something. Anyway, I'm gonna crank this thing. Oh my God, that's so hard. Maybe I should insert that little 3 hours later thing in right here. Someone out there should be counting this. There, 1 full foot, if not better. And that was hard to crank. Now I'm tired and I need a nap. So anyway, that's pretty cool because now I can veneer, rip, all that nonsense, and I don't have to use a table saw nearly as much, which makes me happy. Me and table saws have a little history together, and well, I still have all of my fingers, and I'm gonna probably keep it that way. So the less I have to use a table saw, the better off I am. But nonetheless, I'm going to go up to one of the big box stores today. I'm not going to name it. It doesn't really matter. And purchase some lumber so I can make a special cart for my table saw. All right, so anyway, I'll get back to this. Let's crank it back up. Ooh, smooth action. Ooh. One of the biggest problems I'm having right now is finding an electrician to put a 220 outlet in and wire it to the box. I could do it myself. I could. I really could. It's not hard. It's just that there's codes. And here in Pennsylvania, you do anything by yourself, someone knows about it. All right. So I also installed this. This was not fun. After all this stuff was pretty much assembled when it came in the crate. And this piece here was free floating, so I put it back in place because it wasn't really hard to do. But anyway, the bolts that hold this plate on, not this one, don't mind that one, but the bolts that hold the plate in when you're wearing glasses, it makes it a little tough when you're like this close to it. So you have to like be this close to it. And I'm pretty far away. But anyway, I got them bolts in. That was the one part that I didn't put on film. Now I've got a few more bolts, washers, and I might look at the instructions yet because someone said instructions are pretty important. So I'm going to go open the book, take a gander through it, and see why I'm in possession of so many washers, 1 nut, 1 long bolt, and we'll get back to doing this. See, that comes with markings from Taiwan, which is good because I know that language. I know it really well. So reading it is not impossible for me. I guess we could read it together, huh? Get that smoke out of here. Move bandsaw into house and try not to fuck it up. And in red, it says, Very important. Yep. So, okay, well, we got all that done then. The big book. Okay. Missing bolts. Let's see. Section 7 packing needed for setup. Hardware recognition chart 16. And I'd be right, it's 13. Hex bolt would be it. Okay. All right, I'm done. These are the extra parts. One bolt, one nut, and a couple of washers. Well, the tools regardless, but I need to figure out where this stuff goes. All right, so extra bolt, extra nut, extra washers. I just figured out what it's for. It's your positive stop. Never even give it any consideration. All right, so now I know what to do with that. All right, so before I installed this, I should have put that bolt and nut in there. And it doesn't require any washers. And there really is no instructions on it, but it is pretty self-explanatory. So what I decided to do was, you can tilt the table 45 degrees. So that's what we're gonna do. So we'll go from tight to loose. And just crank her all the way. Tighten it back up, Lord knows why. All right, so what we gotta do is make sure the nut's far enough up. Just put that bolt in there and start driving it home. I don't think you can go too far. I guess we'll find out in a minute. Now I gotta find my wrench that came with the machine, because they want you using the right tools, not the wrong ones. And what this is just a stop to let you know exactly where it's level. You have to set it up, of course. And I won't be able to level this machine until it's finally on its resting wheels. Right now it's sitting on a pallet, so I could level it all day, and then when I take it off the pallet, it'll just be out of whack. Have it open the bottom door, make sure we're not going all the way to the bottom here. Yeah, there's a nut welded in there, so that's a good thing. Okay, so what I'm going to do is crank it back down and kind of level it, just so I have a basic idea. I'll leave everything loose, of course. Oh yeah, that's not too bad. Let's see what the level says. All right, let's see if you can see this. This might be important to somebody. Zoom in on that. Turn you a little bit. There you go. You can see that bubble. See where it's at? It's just about level. Right about there is where I want it. Lock it back in position. This time it's important to lock it back in position. Okay, so now you can see So now you can see the purpose of the bolt. So what you do is just tighten it up against the bottom of the pan, the plate, and that feels pretty good. And then your lower nut, just tighten it right to the machine. Now I'm not gonna officially tighten anything up. Like I said, I gotta level it off the pallet, but that's how that works. This was one of the coolest features of the whole machine. When you take your blade off, it's in this position, and then it's tight. Turn that, and the whole wheel inside comes down. So it makes changing the blade like 3-4 seconds. So that was pretty cool. One of the other great features is the tracking window. I like that. I like that a lot. Because I don't have to use a stepping stool to get up. This thing's like almost 7 foot tall. Let's see what else. Yeah. See that it'll just move the whole wheel up and down to make the changing a blade easier. And that's what that little bolt was for that was in here, if you remember. Because you take the blade in this way, and then you turn everything sideways, install your blade up and around the wheel, go back, pull the handle back to the tight position, and then just spin it by finger and watch as it tracks itself back to where it was. If not, then you just have to make some minor adjustments from here. Or I don't know exactly all the features of it yet. I'm assuming it ain't much different from the little guy. Let's take a look at the little guy quick. Okay, here's the little guy. I don't have a problem using the name of this one. It's made by Porter Cable. This thing here has been nothing but a headache since I unboxed it. The plate never stays true. Changing blades in this thing is, you gotta take the table off and everything. You can go through here, so it says, but you're better off just to reset everything because you gotta adjust the bearings and everything in it. So I've been using this just for smaller projects. So for very small, minute projects, this thing's perfect. Other than that, it's not worth it if you're getting into like making any kind of small furniture or like jewelry boxes, because there's nothing accurate about it. When I say it's a toy, that's exactly what it is. Other than that, it wasn't a bad machine. It just had to deal with all the little quirks. So I'm keeping it around just for smaller projects where I don't need the big machine. But the big machine's gonna make a lot of difference. Like I said, it's gonna pretty much take the place of a lot of other tools in the shop. So if you're looking for a small bandsaw and you're afraid of spending more than $200, this is the machine for you. And you're gonna have to deal with it. Gotta clean this. It's packing grease, just to keep it from getting rusty. Okay. I got bored reading. It was about 10 seconds in and I was just like, you know what? No, fuck this. I'm a bad guy. Instructions are important, folks. I'm gonna speed this up because this is boring as shit. Nobody wants to watch this all the way through. So here we go.
Surface of the sun needs to go
go. Nice and shiny. I'll pick up some wax today and throw a little bit of wax on it. Hope you enjoyed my cleaning music and the Weon's vacuum cleaner. There's something else that's pretty cool. I mean, it's a machined wheel, so yeah, that looks pretty cool to begin with. But anyway, this inner wheel here has 2 spots on it for the belt, which makes this machine a 2-speed. I haven't read much more into this, so I don't know much about it. I'm just assuming, you know, faster RPMs versus slower RPMs. So pretty cool. So here's another great feature. Your start button, your stop button. That's not the impressive part. Here's the impressive part, and I'll tell you why. Because I've got nutty grandchildren, and they gotta touch everything. They can't keep their mitts off of shit, you know? But anyway, you can put a lock through here. That way they can't walk over and do stuff like, oh, look at me, I'm happy and stuff. Because this machine fires up, and it takes 30 seconds to slow down. So that's plenty of time for them to walk over and go, oh, look at me, I'm grabbing a blade and what have you. Well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed all that. I'm done working on this thing for the day. I had other stuff going on. So, if you want to see some more build, or you want to know more about the machine, want to see another video, let me know. This is what I was doing today. Putting up walls so they don't look like this. Kind of silly, but they're plastic walls. So I put up furring strips, plastic walls. There's an inch of space behind, helps it to breathe. Another project coming up. This is going to be the new table saw. Eventually. Doksha ake wachion kite. Hope I said it right. See ya.